My parents are very successful people in Guyana, and we basically live like royalties, but there's a lot of political violences, and so our family was threatened. As I evolved and I grew, I realized that I was more creative as a person, and I find that having a career that you're happy at is really important in life. In 2019, I was brought into the pageant industry by Miss Noble Canada. I was granted I awarded the Miss Multimedia title. I think it's really hard being a woman in today's life, in today's culture as well. We get put down quite often. We get deceived, we get looked upon in a different way. Being a single mom, we get perceived very differently, and it's really difficult to achieve a lot of things. And being a single mom, you're being a mom and dad to a child. Even though at the end of the day I knew it was wrong for him to hit me, my parents have never touched me, my parents have never punished me. I know my parents love me more than anything else in the world, and to come out and tell my family that I was being abused was really difficult.
Hello, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste Adab. Friends, I'm Sharon Ali, and you're watching Hunny Walia shows. In today's episode of Through the Eyes of a Woman, we have with us Alicia Nankissoor. Alicia was born in Guyana and migrated to Canada with her two young siblings at the age of 13. Alicia, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start off with, you were born in Guyana. I hear that's a beautiful country. Tell us about your childhood there.
It is a beautiful country. It's tropical. It actually is below sea level. So we have a huge wall that goes from coast to coast, making sure the water doesn't come in. So,
interesting.
Lots of palm trees and everything like that. So,
so it's a great place to go vacation, or?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of tropical life. Most of Guyana is actually covered with the Amazon forestry, however. So everyone lives on the coast of the country.
So a lot of water activities there, or?
Lots of floods.
That's a water activity.
Exactly, yeah.
Great. So how long did you live there before you migrated to Canada?
Well, I was born there, and so visited Canada many times on vacation and stuff like that, but my first 13 years of life was basically in Guyana. Yeah.
So you moved over to, or migrated when you were 13 years old?
Yes, exactly.
What did you think about coming to Canada? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Like, what made you choose Canada?
Well, my family was here. We didn't really have a choice per se. My parents were very successful people in Guyana, and we basically live like royalties, but there's a lot of political violences, and so our family was threatened. So migrating was not a choice. It was more like my mom actually pulled us out of school and said, we're moving to Canada. So we didn't have much of a time to think about what's going to happen or not. We came to Canada. Obviously, it's a beautiful country. Canada is home. Most of our families are here as well too. So it was more where we know we can go.
Perfect. Wow, that's wow.
Very different. You came to the cold.
Exactly. So you're passionate about laboratory research science, but then realized that marketing was your forte. What made you do the change?
My dad's actually in sciences, so he's a doctor, he's a surgeon.
Nice.
So growing up, it was also part of my passion. I think sciences is in our daily lives and stuff like that, but as I evolved and I grew, I realized that I was more creative as a person, and I find that having a career that you're happy at is really important in life.
Absolutely, I agree.
So even though I did go through school for sciences and then last moment changed into marketing, I think yes, we changed, but I know I'm happier at my job that I am at right now. Working in sciences, my first job was actually at Maxim Analyticals. And I was first graduate to actually get such a good job, and I stayed there for about 6 months, and I was absolutely devastated.
Really? You just didn't like the job, or what was it?
No, there was no creativity. There was no people to interact with. I think I'm a very people's person. My passion is to build relationships with people and learn from their experiences in life. And with that job, I wasn't able to do that, and so I felt very depressed. Going to work was really hard on my shoulders. So making the choice to move away from that was really hard, but I think I've been successful so far, so I think I made the right choice.
Right, good for you. And like you said, it's so important to be happy in your job. Otherwise, you wake up in the morning, you're going to work, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, you don't want that, right? Because it's something that's part of your life now.
Exactly.
Okay, makes sense. So you're very passionate about your individual independence.
Yeah.
Explain to us why this is important to you.
I think it's really hard being a woman in today's life, in today's culture as well. We get put down quite often. We get deceived. We get looked upon in a different way. So I think myself, I'm so passionate about being an individual and being part of our culture as well. So so far I've done everything on my own, or I've tried to succeed on my own. So you know, my dad has equipped, my parents actually have equipped me with skills and tools that I need to be successful in life. And I think no one has the right to tell me that I can't succeed or I can't get the things that I've actually wanted to achieve in life. It is how determined I am to make sure that happens. And I think that's why I'm so passionate, because I want to show other women in today's life that you have a dream, you can follow those dreams. No one has that control over to say, well, no, you can't get it.
Absolutely.
And for example, being a single mom, I know it's in my my bio there, but being a single mom, it's really looked upon differently. And I think a lot of times, even for example, going to buy a car, so I went into a car dealership, and I'm not going to say which one, but I was perceived, and the salesperson sat in front of me and said, are you sure you're going to be able to achieve that car? Or are you going to be able to pay for that monthly bill? So
oh, I would have been so angry. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really hard. And I do have 2 siblings. They're absolutely beautiful, and they're very supportive as well. So my brother went back with me to that shop and said to him, you know, we could actually buy that car cash, but just because you were so judgmental, we're going to walk away from the sale.
Good for you guys. So, I love that.
And I know being a single mom, we get perceived very differently, and it's really difficult to achieve a lot of things. But I think that's why I'm so passionate to making sure that other women out there know that they can still achieve the things they wanted to, even though you are a single mom. You are still an individual. You have the same abilities to achieve everything that anyone else could. And I think sometimes we even achieve a lot more than if you're together with someone.
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes you don't need anybody by your side, right?
Exactly.
Do things better on your own.
Yeah.
So you said you're a single mom. Your son's name is Aryan.
That's right.
Okay, you have the one
son.
Okay. So what was it like, I guess, being a single mom? Did you find it difficult at times when you had to go to work and give him your time? Like, how was that like?
I think being a mom in general is really difficult.
Yes,
and being a single mom, you're being a mom and dad to a child. I think I'm blessed to have the son that I have. He's very understanding. He's very involved. He copes very well with changes that we have to make. So I'm lucky as well, because I have my mom to kind of rely on to help me take care of him.
Okay, so your mom's here as well?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Mom's here. My family's here, actually.
Okay.
But it's really difficult knowing that you have to wake up, go to school, go to work. Sometimes you have to take him to school, or ask mom to take him to school. And like I said, I'm very blessed that I do have mom to help me out with that. But still, being a mom and a dad to Aryan is sometimes very challenging. He's now 7 years old, so he's very curious. He's got a very intellectual mind as well. So I think what made it different is I didn't treat him like a baby. I still don't treat him like a baby. He is a young boy, and he understands things. So when I do have to go to work or work long hours, I do say, hey, mommy's going to be home at a certain time, but I'm coming back, don't worry, and I'm okay. But I think it also creates such a close bond and a close relationship with your child, that he understands that you're not leaving him out of decisions that you're making as well too. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. He sounds like a strong boy, strong, independent boy. And I think that's what you want to mold out of him, right?
Exactly. Yeah. He's very independent. Even now, he's on school from online schooling.
Okay.
So I am working online as well too. So if I'm on the camera or whatever, he will get up and try to make his breakfast and try to make me coffee.
That's very sweet.
Even though it's not the best tasting coffee, it is still an attempt.
You know what? The attempt that he's doing that shows you're teaching him well, and to be considerate and most of all independent. And I think that's so important to instill in our children today, is the independency, right?
Exactly.
Not to rely on anybody.
Yes, exactly.
So then you went on to attain your license as a financial advisor. So were you still doing marketing when you did that, or is that something you added on to your kind of career? Or?
I just added it on. I think a lot of times when, like I said, I've come across a lot of people, or a lot of women actually, who struggle in today's finances or today's financial world, if you wanted to say. And I think a lot of times we get I don't want to say the word bullied, but we do, if you don't have the education behind it, or you don't know exactly what to do and where to go with your money or your finances, and I think that's important as a woman to be financially independent.
Absolutely.
So I think I got my license as just a knowledge to have to carry on with you, to know when you are sitting in front of a mortgage broker what is happening or what she's saying or he's saying, kind of to understand it a little bit better as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think also being a financial advisor gives me a lot of tools equipped to maintain and manage my money, whereby I don't have anyone to question or double check with. I have the knowledge. So it was more just to equip myself with the knowledge rather than using it elsewhere. But
okay. So you did the financial advisory course, but just for yourself though, like you didn't work in a bank or any type of mortgage?
No, I do. I do actually work. I had previously worked with Sun Life Financial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you use the knowledge there?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So on top of that, you're also a successful entrepreneur.
That's right.
For Main Envy Salon and Premium Contractors.
Correct.
So you still hold a full-time position with them? Okay.
Yes.
Wait a minute. So we've got the financial advisory.
Yes.
We've got the Main Envy Salon and Contractors. And previous to that, you were doing?
I'm actually now working with Bentaro Traditional Healing Society as an employment coordinator.
Right. Okay. So now you got to tell us and our viewers, how do you manage all this? You're so busy.
Time management.
Wow.
I write everything down. I have a schedule, a goal schedule. I plan. My son also has different activities as well too. He's in karate. I do karate as well. I'm a black belt.
Oh my goodness! Watch out! He's a black belt.
It come in great hands too, so it's very helpful. But yeah, it's just managing your time, being organized, making sure, like I said, being a mom is a full-time job, but having all these jobs as well is just how well you can manage your time and your organization. I think when you put your mind to it, you can absolutely achieve anything you possibly can. So
I agree.
Women are very, very strong creatures, and we can pretty much do it all.
I agree. Be a mom, be professional, be a wife, be a, whatever you need to be. But wow, that's amazing. I mean, like you say, if you have passion for something, you make time for every single thing.
Exactly.
Right? It's amazing. Your independence and it's just amazing. Good for you. And on top of all that, now we're going to go on to what you've committed to noble causes as well, and have held holding title for several different causes that are very close to your heart and very important to you. So share with our viewers some of the titles that you've held.
Well, in 2019, I was brought into the pageant industry by Miss Noble Canada. I was granted I awarded the Miss Multimedia title in 2019, and then in 2020 I am a Miss Infinity, the face of change.
Wow.
And then 2021 I was just awarded the Miss World Tourism Northern Alberta.
Wow, good for you. So you went into pageantry in 2019.
Yes.
And are you still like going through whole different titles? You're still wanting to do that, or is this so this is a continuous thing for you to go through different pageants and that?
I think a lot of pageantry has actually reached out to me. I think because I do bring a voice to the table. I do bring a lot of I work with a lot of different organizations as well. So I work with domestic abused women or men. Right. I do work with abused children. And then I also advocate for young teenagers that are pregnant. And I did visit the home downtown. It was a very scary experience, to be honest. But
was this the home for abused women or
for pregnant girls, young pregnant girls? Yes.
So what was it like there? Like, do you go and do you hold meetings with them? Do you speak to them?
Yeah.
So what kinds of things, like just in general, would you say to these girls?
Well, we first had the visit, and it was very overwhelming because it was very dangerous. Like the stairs was really hard to climb up and down.
And there's pregnant women staying there?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when I realized that I personally am so much more luckier than those girls that are in that situation. So I think most of what I do is help them motivate themselves to being a better woman, or helping them cope with emotional struggles, or helping them cope with a lot of the abuse that they've been through, or giving birth to their children, or making sure they find a job, helping them find jobs, helping them go forward with life, and not stay in that position that they are.
So are these younger girls, like, are we talking 18 and younger, or are they older women too that are there, or just kind of like the 18 and under group?
They can range, so it could be anywhere between 16 to 35. So anyone who's been battered or been abused and pregnant, or young and pregnant.
Okay, so that all comes from some sort of kind of, I guess, trouble in their life.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Some kind of trauma through their life.
Now, I've never visited this place, so is this somewhere where they live, kind of like the women, I guess, women's shelter?
Exactly.
Same kind of idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You have to be pretty strong to talk to these women, right?
Yes.
And what to say to them. And so as far as your education in that background, did you take some courses around that, or did you just kind of from your experiences?
I've learned a lot from different people, speaking to different people. I do outreach to a lot of different, people that are able to help as well. Mostly I help them find like a job and find their inner belief or their inner strength, so that they can move on with the process. At the end of the day, life is a journey basically, and we keep going, right?
Absolutely. And you also do a lot on domestic violence and abuse.
Yes.
So do you hold meetings, do you hold shows, do you go out personally and talk to these women, or what kind of things? Like, tell us about that.
I think it's such an important topic. A lot of women feel inferior or scared to be bold enough to speak as a group. So I do speak one-on-one with the women when they do reach out, and so on my Facebook I do have access and contacts that they can contact me at. I've had many women in the past reach out to me for advice, for help, where to go and what to do. And the reason itself is because I have been through domestic abuse.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay.
It was difficult at the time, but I think I've grown so much more from it, and I think that's where a lot of my passion is actually from, where it stems from, for sure.
Right, so you've been through it, so you know exactly how these women are feeling, what they're going through, and well, that's great. I'm great that you're out there. It's great that you're out there and you're talking to these women, and and coming from a woman who's experienced the same type of abuse and situation, that I think it's better because you've been through it. You can relate better to these women.
Exactly, and I think that's why a lot of women choose to help or reach out to me basically, so that they can get the help they need, or get the steps or take steps or advice basically to see what they should do and where to turn next, basically.
Right. So is it okay to ask you, like, where do you tell them to go, or kind of what advice do you give them at this point, like in general maybe? Yeah,
I think a lot of times it's important to know first if you want to get out. And a lot of times, as somebody being abused, you tell yourself you want to get out, and there's many times you try to make a plan how to get out, but then you have different things or obstacles in your way that's preventing you from getting out. And I think it's really important because a lot of our families don't know the struggles that you're facing at the time.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people judge you too, saying, well, it's very simple, you just pick up and leave, but that's not the case.
Not easy.
And it's definitely not easy. No. I think a lot of times women suffer because of finances. So to get out there and to be on your own and to move on with life, you have to have the finances you need in order to do something like that. So I think first and foremost is you make a plan. Do you have a job? Let's find a job, something simple to get out there. Starting to make those phone calls to 911, and making sure when you make those phone calls, you don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I think a lot of times being a woman of color, we feel guilty doing that because yes, we're protecting ourselves, but at the end of the day, our husband is in jail or in the police custody because we made a complaint.
Yeah.
So knowing our culture and knowing our background that we come from, we hold ourselves responsible for putting your husband in jail.
Yes, you're right there actually, yeah.
Yeah, so I think a lot of times we feel that we're exposing our family to the law.
And I think it's a form of embarrassment too, right? Like, you know, oh, look at that family, or he's in jail. You know, it's the talk.
Exactly.
People talk. And I think that's a big part of it too with the culture as well.
Exactly. So I think finding yourself, your inner strength is really important, to knowing that at the end of the day, your neighbors or your family members don't know what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And it's your decision to say, hey, look, I'm done. I have had enough. And finding that inner voice is really difficult.
Yeah. And especially, you know, when you're saying about like your neighbors don't know what you're going through in that, and even if they do know, you're the person that has to live with this life, with this person. You know, at the end of the day, if people are criticizing or saying, you know, or you know, saying bad things or gossiping, I always say at the end of the day, it's not them that's living this life, it's you. Right? Who cares what people say? People will gossip for a while, and then it'll be done.
But if you think of people gossiping about you, you give them a reason to talk about you. You're popular.
There you go. That's a positive way to look at it.
Look at it in a positive way.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the ways that I look at it. I mean, with coming from my family, my dad's family is a really large one, and I remembered when I filed for my divorce, my two aunts, they flew down to Edmonton thinking that was the end of the world, but I stood my grounds and I said, no, I've had enough. And I think I've achieved so much more being a single mother and being divorced than I did when I was actually married for 3 years.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And it certainly shows for everything you're doing. And you know, that's great how you're helping women out there, and you're just standing up for yourself and having them stand up for themselves and making a difference.
Exactly.
I think that's the best thing in the world. Must be such a good feeling for you as well.
It feels very accomplishing. It feels grateful. Like you grow as a person as well too. I think I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I can achieve what I can, and I can do so without knowing that I have restrictions in place. So I feel very good about who I've become, being a single person or being a single mom, and not having to go through that abusive marriage.
Absolutely. And when you first decided to get out, was that difficult for you, or did you know that you were done and you just, you know, it just...
No, I think it took me, well, I was married for 3 years, and I think in those 3 years, I've made the decision several times to get out. Numerous times to get out. I've called my brother to meet me in certain places. But then you feel guilty and you say no to it. I've made plans to escape in the middle of the night, and I probably have I've escaped a couple of times. I remember he was choking me at one point, and when he left to go to the bathroom, I got myself into a pajama pants, and I put on like 3 layers of clothing, because he had the car keys, even though it was purchased by myself. It was an Audi, so he would always have the car keys under his pillow. And I didn't know what to do, but I had on 3 layers of clothing. I grabbed my laptop, my phone, and my wallet, and I jumped through the back window, and I ran out of the house, out of the yard. And I went probably all the way down to the 7-Eleven that was on the head of the road, which is about a good half an hour walk. But eventually he followed me, and there was only one way out. I didn't know where to go. So again, he met me there, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go back and I will try again and make it work. And several times I've done that. And again, I've called the police several times on him. He's been in jail, and I myself have done it where I go back and I pull I withdraw my statement, or I withdraw any kind of legal actions I was going to take. Even though at the end of the day I knew it was wrong for him to hit me. My parents have never touched me. My parents have never punished me. I know my parents love me more than anything else in the world, and to come out and tell my family that I was being abused was really difficult. I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry you had to go through that. I really am. But you know what? Look at you now. Look at you now. That was a perfect, most excellent thing you could have done, was to get out of that marriage. Look where you're at now. Exactly.
You know, you're a symbol of a perfect, you know, a woman to help other women. You're an exception. You're to these other women. You're helping them. You're showing them.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the most important part.
Exactly.
Right? And look at everything you're doing now. So this was meant to be. Of course, not that part, but for you to get out and to live your life the way you are, to make a difference with other women.
Exactly.
You know, and these titles you hold, and you know, like you should be so happy. I'm very happy. Yeah, that's excellent.
It was a hard decision, but I stood my grounds to it. And I think the hardest part was actually telling my dad that it's not just that he's cheating, but he's actually abusive. That was where I kind of broke down, and I said no. and then my parents supported me through my decision, for sure.
No doubt. I had no doubt they wouldn't support you. You said you came from a family, a big family and a good background, but no, best decision. Sometimes we go through life with things that we don't expect.
Exactly.
We make wrong decisions.
We never plan for that. No.
Right?
No.
But then the outcome is the best part.
Exactly.
Because like I said, look at you now.
Yes.
You're beautiful. Look at everything you're doing. You've got your son, and you're just going the right direction.
I look at it in a way, it was karma. I had to pay my karma somehow, and I had to learn from that. So I learned so much from that marriage that I equipped myself to being a better person, to be out there.
Yeah, good for you. Very proud of you. So there's a motto you live by.
Yeah.
What is your motto? Can you tell our viewers what your motto is?
My motto is that you can't make everyone satisfied, but if you could do something today better than you did yesterday, you're a winner at the end of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything that you'd like to say to our viewers out there? Any comments, any advice you'd like to give them?
Yeah, I think a lot of people who are going through the same situation that I did find it within you to move on. You don't deserve to be abused, and abuse could be in any form, whether it's emotional, financial, or physical. So look at your situation and evaluate yourself. If you're ready to get the help, you have many ways and means to get that. So just find the inner voice and make sure you know that's not what you want.
Great. Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you so very much for sharing your journey through life with us. I know it's difficult to talk about some of these things, but I just, I envy you. You're a beautiful, strong woman. Stay that way. And good luck in everything you do. I'm sure you have more goals and ambitions in life. So go with that and do what you're doing. And
thank you very much. Thanks for having me here and sharing my experience as well with everybody.
Thanks so much for coming, Alicia.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for all your love and support. For more Hunny Walia shows, like us on Facebook and log on to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Until next time, take care.